Now, over the last month, it has been really chaotic. We have essentially built some pretty amazing things here on the server. And I just wrapped up a massive chocolate factory build where I now have access to pretty much anything chocolate related. But even before that, we ended up getting ourselves a workshop. I have a track factory. I have a steak farm. Over here, we have ourselves a tree farm, an iron farm that produces a ton of other byproducts. And then of course, I can't forget the mall. Yeah, this place, massive and probably one of the best utility projects on the server, which has literally funded, I think, all of our projects here on the server. Like, yeah, I mean, why would you craft it when you could literally just buy it? Now, that's of course not the only thing that we have done. We have also worked on a dirt factory. It seems kind of weird, but we do use a lot of dirt things in our builds. And then we also have, okay, apparently a corpse on the track. I mean, they should be more careful, honestly. I should be more careful. I shouldn't be standing here. But also the tunnel, which has a ton of infrastructure in it as well, which is producing our lava. Also, there is a mega crop farm that is down in the center of this. And not to mention that, we also are producing milk here. So in case you were wondering, Phil has been in great hands. I mean, this hand specifically, yeah, that one. But I mean, to recap, just take a look at all of the detail I have placed into this rail system. It has taken a tremendous amount of time to even build this small track that we have set up here. But of course, we have trains functioning. We have a giant chocolate factory that we just built. And then we also have the hub that controls everything and will control everything for our future builds. And this, of course, is Partway Station, as named by you guys. But now with that recap out of the way, it's time to do some business. And I just got back from a trip where I went and visited my sister. I was pretty excited. She had her first child. It's like, we're all growing up, but I do have a big plan for a shop build, and we are in the shopping district. It looks like Beardstone actually just built a stone shop. This is a really neat little stone shop. I love a little forklift. Oh my goodness, that is adorable. Oh, that's so good. Oh man, when I worked in the factory, I did manage and run forklifts. That was an interesting thing, and the way that they drive and operate is very cool. It is kind of a powerhouse of a machine, really. But anyways, yeah, it looks like there's all kinds of stuff that we can use to build with. The prices are a little bit interesting. Very steep. Wait a minute. Wait. This is only 2 stacks for a diamond. I've been selling mine for 4 stacks for a diamond. So I guess that still makes my shop very profitable for some of these things. However, I mean, I might buy blocks of quartz here and smooth quartz blocks. Ooh, very nice. And of course, tough. Oh man, I am a very big consumer of the tough over here. There we go, 256 for gravel. I mean, that makes sense. And the andesite, yeah, still I'm cheaper there. Oh my goodness, this block right here. Yes. Oh, ooh, that is expensive, but I will definitely buy that. Dripstone is fantastic. Now, I do want to mention we are going to be building a shop. So, building a shop. This is going to be another interesting project, and it's not going to be too huge, I think, but I do want a shop to be able to sell the chocolate from the chocolate factory, but not just the chocolate, also some of the blocks, very similar to this, in this actual store. And I think right here will be a good spot for it. And it does seem like everyone has been hard at work at building the shops. I think Throwlash over here is working on a build. I don't want to show you the front of it yet because he's probably actively working on it for his videos. But of course, Eggs, we have the Diomat, which is behind our actual dirt shop, which we have our dirty little back alley as well. And like, I was thinking maybe I could have put my shop back here, but it'll be out of the way. And I don't know. There may be something else that ends up going back here. Maybe even Eggs has a plan for that, or there might be something we could do down the road. A little back alley arcade would be kind of fun. Now, I hope you guys are ready for this, because very similar to this shop build, I explained every aspect of the build. And I think this is going to be another good example of me kind of describing and working my way through from scratch a build that is going to be in relation to the thing I'm selling. So now the more I think about this, the more I kind of want this to be whimsical. And I was thinking I could actually have the shop like overhang the actual roadway. So it starts here, but like maybe curves out and does some weird stuff where it's actually sticking out into the road. It's weird, but I think I can get it to work. So to get this to work, I'm going to, I think, set this back much like I did over here where we have it set back a few, and we'll make this, you know, add to the rest of it. I think we might do tough on the floor area, and then on the top of that, we're going to use the scoria. And this is also not going to be that large of a building. I think going 9, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the interior here. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. And then having this be the sidewall, I think would look pretty darn good. Now I am going to lay this out. This is just going to be the foundation. And to give this building some depth, I mean, outside of it just overhanging over the top, what I'm going to want to do, I think, is go back one from this build. And I am going to leave a little bit of an alley gap. I'm thinking maybe here we leave like a 2-block little alley. So 1, and then I'm just going to continue with this rotating out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is going to be the storefront. Not going to be very, very big, but I think what's going to be big is the actual overhang. Now going out, I'm going about 7 blocks. That's going to give me a little bit of space to put a vault in here so that way we can have it for the shop. Now the walls for this is going to be limestone, and this is going to match the theming of our actual chocolate factory. Now I also want to make the roof line a little bit taller than the building beside me. Like I said, that just adds a little bit of variance to these buildings. Now for the roof itself, the actual top of this area, I'm going to set this to scoria, much like the inside of our chocolate factory. But the outside is where things are going to get a little bit different, because this is where I'm going to align it with the actual pillars, not with the shuffle mod. There we go. Now after placing in the scorchia pillars, I think I'm changing my mind here. I think I'm going to do the scorchia, not the scoria. Sorry. Now I've added a little bit of scoria here down on the side, giving a little bit more texture. Also added some glass in here, but I'm thinking right on this side, I've expanded it out a little bit, and here we go. We can make the same setup here, but another layer up with the iron in the center. And I think this is going to give a good foundation for then starting to figure out how we're going to kind of arch this over. Oh yeah, this definitely gave it the height that I think it needed. I'm thinking on the overhang, we could do a tank right about here. Ooh, we might actually block that off on the center. And then this tank is going to have chocolate in it. Now I know I'm still working on the overhang section, but I was also thinking, you know what? If I try to like replicate the smokestacks, that could be kind of cool. So I'm thinking maybe off the side of a vault here, because we might be able to use this vault in the future, I don't know. But we could do something like this and make this like a smokestack that's off the side. But like the smokestack starts down here. So we start off large here, and then we just start working our way to a smaller diameter and just continue this all the way up. And I think what I'll do is I'll do like I did to the other side. I'll use ochrum to kind of separate the top, making it look like there's like a metal section. Oh yeah, and I think adding the ochrum here, yes, this is gonna give this the color that I think this building needed. Hey, you know what? After a few copycat panels, yeah, this is actually looking really good. Now for the entrance of the shop, as I'm still working on everything going on here, I'm thinking we use some copycat slabs. And these are pretty cool since they can go on the sides of blocks like this. And then up here, we can just simply use like some stairs maybe. You know what? I think this is going to look really nice to maybe have like limestone at the entrance. So we will kind of swap back and forth. So we'll have the layered limestone. This will allow my windows to connect. Oh, that actually looks, that's going to look pretty nice from the front like that, right? Actually, the more I think about this, the more I don't think that I want just like a solid block here with like a regular door. I think I want this to feel a bit more open. So extending this in and then maybe making this the same color, which is the limestone in here. I think that would look nice. Yeah, and you know what? That looks pretty darn good for a face. Now, I definitely want to make the windows kind of look like my other ones and have like some of them that are open. That'll just involve some copycat panels. But outside of that, I mean, it's going to look really nice, especially with the decoration in. Now, time to focus on the top. Now, with this section here, I think I want to leave it sort of empty, but what I'm thinking is to use this platform then to extend the building out to somewhere around here maybe. Now keeping in theme, I think I figured out what build palette I want to use. This is going to be pretty reminiscent of all of our other factories, and I think this is going to fit perfectly here. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a little brick building that is going to be on the top section. It's going to go from here to here, which means I'm probably going to need to extend this up a little bit taller just so that way it is seen, but it'll also give us a nice little marketing place where we can actually have a billboard for this shop that is going to be on the side of the building and also down hanging from the bottom. So yeah, I'm thinking just like this. Oh, this is going to be perfect. And we can't forget a little bit of granite and then a little bit of brick all along the edge here. And you can't forget to chip away a few blocks at the top so we can put in some tuff. I mean, this to me is what gives the like roof this dirty kind of effect. Now I think the whole top section here is going to be filled in with some deep slate. But I do want to make sure this is some stair deep slate that's off the side, giving it an edge. After all is said and done, there we go. We have ourselves a nice little roof on here, and this is extending off. Oh, I love how this looks. After getting the kind of building up, I think we should get some windows in and make the windows look a little bit nice. Now on the outside here, I'm going to have a window, but it's actually going to be covered up because I'm going to have a beam that pulls out, and this is where the billboard will actually go. Of course, to add depth will kind of vary between the full-size blocks and these panes. So far, so good. And I think this is where our vault is going to be housed, and then in here is just going to be our different tanks. I'm going to make the outside look a little bit dirty, so we're going to make our floor in here. And I'm going to mix and match a little bit of tuff, giving it that dirty vibe like everything else we've done. Then the inside will be a nice mixture of our stone and andesite as we've used for our factory floors. So now with a little bit of detail in here, I mean, just look at this from a distance. I know my truck is kind of in the way, but I mean, you look at this and you're like, what is this? This just catches your eye. I mean, this is going to have a billboard on it. But, and I'm thinking maybe a clock face right here. And then you walk up and you're like, oh, it's an actual shop. Like there's a place I can go inside. You know what? Making a clock actually might be a really cool thing to have in this little factory area. And for all the hand locations using the copycat slabs here, I can place in a darker block. Something like that. And for the clock itself, a clockwork bearing is what allows us to do this. So essentially, the clockwork bearing goes in here and we have two different areas that things get glued to. So we have this outer face, and if we had some glue, we'd be able to see. But then we have the block after that, and both of those are going to be arms for our clock. Now, there's also some controls here. So we have hour hand first, we have minute hand first, and we have a 24-hour hand first. I think hour hand first is usually how it is. So that just means that the hour hand should be the first thing that is connected here. So for example, we have this, and if I have this running up, that should be our hour hand. And then our minute hand, we can have that extends all the way out even further. So I think I can do something like this, where we have some shafts that are running up. And so this will be our hour hand, and that would be our minute hand. And we have to glue it as such. For example, this just gets glued together like that. And then this gets glued together separately. And now these are both technically connected to the clock. And whenever we activate it, give it some power, these will actually move in the orientation that they need to go in. Now the power of this, I think you can get by with just a simple water wheel. I don't want to run any power over here just yet. Just mainly need this in here to constantly keep this spinning. Now, the only thing I'm unfamiliar with is if this has an RPM requirement. Contraption o'clock. Maybe it does. It's just going to move slow. But like it still is technically moving. Oh yeah, that seems plenty fast enough. After looking at this, it doesn't feel quite right. I think that is because usually the minute hand is actually on the back. Or at least I think that's how it is. Like, yeah, I think this is actually backwards. Now on the redesign, I think I'm going to use just a regular metal girder like so. I wonder if I can get this and force this in this like position, but actually remove this girder down the road. I think that'll look a little bit better. And then all we have to do is remove the glue that we had, re-glue with this in this orientation. Okay, and then start it, and then I just need to remove that one. And we need to make sure that we switch the actual positioning by making sure that the inner hand is the minute hand. So let's see, first hand, minute hand is the one that's first. Okay, and I think that fixes everything. So as soon as we put this into place, I think this is gonna work. Fingers crossed. Oh, it did. Okay. Let's remove that. And perfect. Okay, so now we have a minute hand, and this is our hour hand. So I think now we functionally have a building set up and ready to go. So now I need to work on the functional parts, that is the actual shop itself. So I want them to be able to come in here and to be able to purchase from a shopkeeper. And then I want their items to be sent into a container. So I'm thinking if we do a container, maybe we can have this position right here be the actual drop-off container where they're going to receive everything. So knowing that, it should allow me to have a chute that sends the items out. So that means I am going to need a chute that goes through the back here, and this will help me sort of identify where I need to set up my vault. So you know what? This might actually need to be the place that this is set up. So packager will go on the vault, and then that is what will send the packages all the way down, just like so. So I guess without further ado, time to build a huge vault. I'm thinking inside of the store, of course, we need a little bit more light in here and some decoration, but I'm thinking the shop will actually go on these scaffolds right here. We'll have the shopkeeper right here in the middle, but I kind of want to display some of the items that we're going to be selling. For example, here are some chocolate glazed berries. I'm thinking we could make this look like there's some glass displays. I mean, it's going to kind of get the point across, like at least that's what I'm going to try to do. So let's just assume we have a glass shelf right here, and I could place an item inside here. That's what I really want to do. Well, we do have a mod that is called the Armor Stand Poser mod, and it allows me to place the items inside of this. So I got to shift right click, and then I can go to show arms. That is perfect. We can then give it the item, which is going to be the sweet berries. And then I can go back in here, and we have a couple of modes by default that we can set it to. Let's see, aligned held item. We can even do like have it go like this, where it displays it, or we can even go back and let's do hold item flat. Just stuff like this, right? I don't know if there's a way to actually reset this after it's been done. We can just hit cancel, right? So if we don't like what we have, we can hit cancel. For example, this like holds it down. We could go ahead and maybe hold it like this. I kind of like it turned a little bit here. And I think that's the arm position that is actually turning this. So like I can try and set it to like 19, maybe like 20. It seems like the higher I do this, the more it's turned. I kind of like the 45 on this, but over here, we have to knock this down. Let's do like negative 1.5. And that is pretty close to getting it like in the center of this block. I think with that little bit of rotation though, it did cause this. And by the way, it does make it a little bit more difficult to align this. I think we have to go like, I don't know, 35. Wow, that number changes a lot, doesn't it? Yeah, this is going to be something that is very difficult to change. Maybe even changing the X. Yeah, point like 1.2 maybe, and then dropping it down a little bit further, like minus 0.1, 0.2. It's pretty cool though to be able to see this. And what it allows me to do is like get items in here that we can use for display. Oh, this makes control a whole lot easier. I didn't actually realize that you could use your scroll wheel to adjust these. Now, after a little bit of trial and error, I think I'm slowly getting this. I need like the item pulled back a bit more on the arm here, but I'm getting there. So you know what? I think this is pretty darn good. And I don't know if this is a pose that I can save. Like this is a copy where I could copy this. If I save it, I don't know where it's actually saved to. We do want to make this invisible. So I should be able to place this on top of our blocks now. And if I copy the current settings, this should allow me to paste this into our future setups. Or at least, so I hope, because look at that. It's like a display case that is housing our items. Guess to test if this works, go ahead, place it in here, shift right click and hit paste. Ooh, does that work? No, it's on the opposite side, so of course it doesn't. Can I mirror the pose? No. Oh, so it's only going to work on this side. Interesting. It is interesting though that for some reason, like the settings that this did copy over, like it's the pose. It didn't like copy this information. You know what? After a little bit of finagling, I ended up getting that in there. It looks pretty decent. The items, I think this is pretty good. So we have chocolate bars, we have our sweet rolls that are inside of the glass. We also have the berries. I mean, so far, this is working pretty decent. But I also have Scorchia and Scoria that I'm going to be selling. Now, I'm wondering how the armor stands work when handling the blocks. I think there's a default pose that you can use on these that work really nice. You just have to do show arms. And then on this side, I think I'll do Scorchia. It's going to hold the block. And then I need to just simply align it so it appears on the surface. And yeah, I mean, it does. It does exactly what you expect it to do. Problem is once you do this, it makes it kind of hard to see them, but you can go into any armor stand, I think click this button, and then you can actually click the locate and it'll show you where this is at. But if I want this to be turned a little bit, I think I can give it some rotation in these directions too. And that will help a little bit there. So we have a little bit of block rotation, and then I'm going to save that. And yeah, it helps, yeah, definitely vary some things here. And then I'll do the same thing on the other side. And now to add in even more decoration, maybe have some pipes that are running through the ceiling, just like this, dropping down and then connecting into another container. I can run some pipes just along here as well. Just having some more pipe looking things I think would look really, really nice. Mainly giving off the vibe of a chocolate factory, and we can get some chocolate in here, maybe some milk and some lava, since that's what we're technically using fluid wise in our setups. So I think this is now starting to look pretty darn good. We have ourselves a little bit of an area, but before we actually get somebody in here, we actually need to get the product inside of the vault. And so I added a little ladder so I can go up, and we'll get there eventually. Keep going up, and there we are. Okay, so we're now in the vault. But what I want to do is I want to add a little shulker unloader for right now. I'm just going to be using shulker boxes to load this up because I don't think this is going to be used all that much. So I'm not going to have to really worry about keeping it all in stock. Just judging by my, for example, dirt shop, I haven't really had to restock it. I guess not a lot of people are building with dirt. So, I mean, they might build with a lot of scoria. I have no idea, but yeah, we'll see. And the simple shulker loader looks a lot like this. However, I still have to make a brass funnel. Apparently I'm out of them. So this simple little setup right here will allow me to send items into this vault. And if we do the opposite, will allow us to put items into the shulker, which is actually what we're doing at the chocolate factory. And I mean, that didn't take very long at all. I have now all of these shulkers nice and filled. So let's see, we have the chocolate bars. I have some sweet rolls, which I'm going to sell there as well. I went with 2 shulkers worth of the different materials. Might have to come back for those because these guys are probably going to be the thing that's bought the most. And I think I'm going to sell it at the same rate that I'm selling everything else, right? Just a 1 diamond or 4 stacks. And you know, that may sound cheap, but you know, at the end of the day, I just want people to build more stuff, and I want them to have the blocks to be able to do that. Especially like those blocks, right? This floor looks great. So I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing other things built and accented with these blocks. So now to just unload everything. And you know what? This right here, I think the rabbit might be a good choice for the stock keeper. Maybe does this work? This does work. Wait, the rabbits don't get a hat though. That's kind of funny. But wait, this actually makes me want to change this up a little bit and move the stock ticker up. And then hopefully the rabbit doesn't disappear too much, and just make sure the seat is up here. And no biggie, just all the way up here. And like this, maybe? Can I not set you on here? There's something in the way, isn't there? And you know what? I bet it was the trapdoor there. Ah, perfect. So yeah, and now we have a rabbit, which could definitely be a reference to the Cadbury egg, but definitely not. But now I'm going to go through here and reprogram. I think for most of the food supply, for example, these glazed berries, these are just going to be a stack for 1 diamond. And sweet rolls, I'll do a little bit of a discount. We'll actually do, we'll do a stack. Actually, you know what? I'll do a stack plus 1. Just to make it really weird, but you do get a little bit of a better price if you buy it actually from the shop instead of from the train station. Or actually what I should do is I have this set to a stack for 1 diamond. And in the shop, we just go ahead and change the one in here to only be 32. You know, we got to have those inflation prices in the high traffic areas. So the only problem is this one's really hard to get to. Please don't attack me, please. Oh, this is going to be hard to get down to 32. Perfect. Woo! Now I just gotta get a diamond in there. Oh man, this is too good looking. I don't even want to put a billboard on here, but I'm definitely going to. Now we want the Scorchia. That's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4 stacks, 256, and that is going to be again for 1 diamond. Or you know what? We could be a little bit more greedy here on this, and we could do 120, even though it is basically free. We could do 128 for 1 diamond. I mean, to be in competition with Beardstone over here. Same for the regular scoria. We can do the same on this one, and then boop. And then chocolate, I'll be the most stingy. This will only be 32, and the reason why I want this to be 32 is because this can actually be used to make chocolate, which can then be used to make, for example, glazed berries. As much as that's a problem, it's really not. The main thing that the chocolate bars are used for are to essentially store the liquid chocolate into an item form. So yeah, you can actually melt this down, and this is another way for anyone else on the server to gain access to chocolate itself. So yeah, technically me selling scoria and stuff, I mean, they could make their own farm technically. Now, you know what? Now that that is done, it's time to get some advertisement space up. And I could potentially sell advertisement space off this building as well in the future. But I think for now, I'm just going to put an advertisement for the actual shop. And right down here, we're going to have another sign that extends the length of the actual road. And for the signs, it's going to kind of be like billboard style. Like you can see this right here. I'm getting my directions set, and I'm even placing some railings down on the front. But yeah, once we step back from this, you'll be able to see that is definitely a signboard. Now the same thing needs to happen right here. So I'm going to have this branch off the front like I had mentioned before, and then I'll use the same sort of block palette. We're going to be utilizing our blocks and just kind of mixing and matching them. So now with the signs built up, we just need to make sure that we can get the dimensions correct. And on this one, it's 2 over, 1 up, 1 down. That covers the entire area here. Oh, now I just got to get the images set up. And when using the camera mod like this, there are ways that I could technically make this fit pixel perfect. And that is to count how many squares you have, and then to make sure whenever you're building out your ratio in your image, you make sure to match that to scale. For example, this sign right here will be a 7x4, meaning that's going to be a pretty big image. Now that I have some billboards, it's time for me to actually start getting some billboards in. And I think designing some, so I need to pop into Photoshop, might even make a sign that says advertise here. I think that'd be really, really cool. And maybe put a price on there for like so much. I think that'd be a pretty cool idea. And then also we definitely need a sign up there, which is going to be advertising, I think, the dirt shop possibly. Yeah, I think that'll be pretty nice. Now for you all, this took no time at all, but for me, it took quite a lot of time kind of playing around in Photoshop, and I am not that good. This is some really good like illustration stuff. I am very, very bad at that. So what instead we get is this. Yeah, contact Chosen for more information, 1-800-BIG-SIGN. I mean, honestly, this is what this is going to be. These are going to be sold. Well, these two are going to be sold, and they're going to go right here. Of course, it's going to be their design that they're going to be buying space for. However, I did manage to make this one for the mall. The mall. Automation you can throw money at. Yes, I think that one is pretty neat. Looks actually pretty good from a distance. However, you can't really read the text. That's not the point. That is not the point at all. Now, this one, pretty nice as well. This is the name of the shop. Chosen's Delight, where automation meets temptation. Yes. I mean, it's not the best. I'm not the greatest at this. But I mean, it is something that I did do, and I can say I did it. And you know what? I thought you couldn't read it, but you know, whenever you zoom in over there, you can read it clear as day. Like, I mean, that's fantastic. So this right here is just about it. I mean, it's probably one of the more interesting looking buildings that we have on the road so far. And I'm hoping there's going to be some more creative like buildings that get put up here. But I mean, this right here is pretty darn cool. We have now a clock, and we also have places to advertise, which I think was definitely needed. Like, it just feels pretty plain over in the middle section. And I really feel like some sort of like corporation, like the mall owner would definitely take advantage of the space that, you know, is above the road. So you know what? Not too bad looking from this side, but very, very good looking, I think, from the side where most people are going to be leaving the station and walking through. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments below what your thoughts are on this building. And if you did enjoy today's episode and the process that I had gone through in building this and not exactly using a time lapse. Because yeah, today this build took roughly 6 hours, give or take, and it sounds like a wild thing that it took 6 hours, but it really does, with all the concepting and coming up with the ideas, and then actually placing down all the blocks, gathering the resources for everything. I mean, it really does add up, not to mention the countless hours that it took to produce the things in the shop. But I tell you what, I have been really enjoying this whole process, and being on a server really gives a lot of these builds purpose. Why would I build a shop in a single player world? I mean, there would be no need for a shop in a single player world. I'm the only one who could shop there. So yeah, this is really nice to be able to share products and actually have reasons to produce things. And well, guys, if there was anything that you would like to see me add to a shop like this, or maybe add to the next shop, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. And guys, with that, be sure to also click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and give this video a huge thumbs up. It has taken a lot of time, and I would really appreciate that. We're getting very close to 700,000 subscribers, and that is honestly a massive number. I mean, I remember when I hit 100, and I was super surprised that I even hit 100 subscribers. So, I mean, I can't do it without you guys, so definitely make sure that you're subscribed. You might be surprised to find out that you're not. And now I can't, of course, forget my supporters, those who make these videos possible in the first place. And that huge thanks is going to go out to Dystopius. Thank you so much for your amazing support and choosing to support me over on the Discord by becoming a Discord premium member and supporting me in this content in one of the best ways possible. You absolute boss. I thank you so very much, all of you guys. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. And you know how it goes. As always, thanks for watching.